Welcome back to the monthly recap here on Franchise Nation Radio. We are back to go over the month of May as we are now 2 months fully through the MLB season. And if you remember back in April, the Yankees pretty much carried themselves through that month using their speed and using their defense. They stole bases, and they were first in stolen bases. They were first in least amount of errors, first in fielding percentage, second in shutouts, while they also pitched their way to victory, while they also had first in strikeouts. On the hitting side of things, they just couldn't get things done. They were 27th in runs, 26th in hits, 26th in RBIs, and 27th in OBP. But here in May, they've really turned things around. They haven't exactly put themselves at the top of the MLB with hits and hitting categories, but they're not exactly at the top of the category with pitching either. They're in the middle of the pack for both. And that's not exactly you want to see something you want to see because they were at the top of the pack for a lot of pitching stuff. Now they're still first for errors, they're still first for fielding percentage, they're still first for stolen bases, but the hitting has definitely improved. They're currently 20th in runs compared to the 27th they were. They're currently 14th in hits when they were 26th, and they're currently 20th in RBIs when they were 26th, and they're 19th in OBP when they were 27th, and they've also improved on the doubles, homers, and pretty much every other category as well. They're second in doubles on all of the major leagues, 12th in home runs, 8th in total bases. They've really improved their hitting, and a big part of that has been some of those bats they picked up in free agency at the end of April. Brett Gardner has still been the all-around best hitter on the team, hitting .320, leading an average, 5 home runs, 24 RBIs, 9 two-baggers, and 16 stolen bases, which is a team lead. He is currently the best all-around hitter on the team, followed by their best power hitter, 3-hole hitter Carlos Beltran, who's had a surprising comeback season after a down 2014, and Alex Rodriguez has also picked things up ever since returning from his inflamed hip injury, which kept him out a good portion of the month of April. He's hitting .314 with 3 dingers and 13 RBI. He's basically only been playing against left-handed pitchers as the shortstop, as Didi Gregorius has not been able to get the bat going against left-handers, and A-Rod has, so they've been putting him against lefties in the shortstop spot as all position. And then Dian Viciedo and Kevin Franzen has also been able to get the job done. Viciedo is currently hitting .283, 3 homers, 14 RBIs, and that 14 RBI is actually enough to put him 5th on the roster. He is 5th in RBI and only playing 1 month compared to the 2 months that the majority of these players have played. While Kevin Franzen, who is also picked up at the end of April, was hitting .272 with 3 home runs, 13 RBI, and 6 two-baggers. Franzen has been starting at second base against both sides of the plate, and Viciedo has also been starting against both sides of the plate, DHing on both lineups. While the one really down part about this offense has been Mark Teixeira, who's basically been in the 4-hole against right-handers all year, and he's been dropped down lower and lower against left-handers as the year has gone on, as he's currently hitting just above the Mendoza line at .203, and he's had 5 home runs, but I mean, your 5 home runs aren't exactly contributing when they come in a span of not very often. He's only hitting .203, like I said, and he's also dropped down 2 overall points. He started the season at a 77, and he's already a 75, and he's just continuing to go down. And I've heard reports that the Yankees are trying to get him off the roster, just trying to get that contract, trying to get the declining, aging Teixeira off the team, but the contract is the problem. They won't want it, and no one else does either. No one's willing to take on that $15 million per year when there's still this year and a year after that left on the contract. As far as the pitching, the bullpen has still been solid. Andrew Miller, Dellin Betances leading out the bullpen with 24 games played for Miller, a 2 ERA in 27 innings. He's got 28 strikeouts, while Dellin Betances, 1.53 ERA, 17 saves in 17 innings, picking up 22 strikeouts. Jared Burton's also been a solid guy in the bullpen ever since being called up from AAA, a 1.77 ERA in 17 games played, 20 innings, 17 strikeouts. But the starting rotation hasn't exactly been stellar, not exactly what you want from a rotation that is led out by Masahiro Tanaka. He's currently at a 4.34 ERA and a 4-4 record. Now, he does have 76 Ks through 66 innings, which is spectacular, but the record and ERA doesn't exactly reflect that. CC Sabathia, his record 6-2, but his ERA is up in the 4 range now, a 4.04 in 62 innings pitched. Nathan Eovaldi currently has the lowest ERA of all the starters at a 3.64 ERA in 54 innings pitched, and in those 54 innings, he's only got 34 strikeouts. So you want to see a better record and some more strikeouts from Nathan Eovaldi. And then also Big Mike, Michael Pineda, only 2-3 with a 3.88. Not exactly the worst ERA, but not the best ERA either. 62 innings pitched, 63 strikeouts. It's a positive step to look at, though. Now for a look around the organization, as Luis Severino down in AA Trenton Thunder, the 21-year-old, we saw his prospect profile, which will be a link and an annotation on the screen for right now to click on if you haven't seen that. He's currently sitting as a 4-3 record and a 2.44 ERA, and in 62 innings pitched, he's picked himself up 64 strikeouts. Very solid stats across the board for Luis Severino. Another minor league pitcher who's pretty much bursted onto the scene has been Domingo Germán, 22-year-old right-hander down in AAA, acquired from the Marlins in the offseason. He is a 61 overall with a B potential, as that potential has gone from a C to a B based on how well he's performing. He's a 5-2 record at a 2.97 ERA, and in 63 innings he's got 59 strikeouts, which isn't the best ratio, but it's been enough to get him a 5-2 record and boost his potential up. Jacob Lindgren has been progressing in AA, but he's not exactly putting up the best of numbers. A 3.44 ERA isn't bad, but you will want to see more than 13 saves in 18 innings pitched. It's fair to say the next batter you will see called up at any point in this month will be Jose Perella, who was sent down because he was struggling at the major league level, and in AAA he's been hitting .288 in 29 games in AAA total, 3 home runs, 14 RBIs, 118 plate appearances, and they're going to need a guy who can play shortstop and second bases. Right now, the only people on the roster who can play second are Didi Gregorius and Kevin Franzen, and those guys are both starting about 90% of the time, so they're going to have a backup who can play second, and Perella will be the go-to guy as he can play second, first, short, left, center, and right. Rob Refsnyder would be a guy who would want to see get called up, but he's just not hitting as well as you would like him to see. Down in AAA, he's currently hitting .227 with 3 dingers and 22 RBIs in 51 games. The .319 OBP is but the average and the OBP would also want to see go up a bit, especially for a guy who's supposed to be a great bat down in AAA. Slade Heathcott is a guy who hasn't exactly put up the best of numbers, but at any point, if Chris Young starts to struggle as the 4th outfielder, which as of right now he's not, he's actually doing quite a solid job being that 4th outfielder, you could possibly see Slade Heathcott being called up to the big leagues from AAA. He's only hitting .264 with 5 home runs and 18 RBIs, but if anybody's going to get called to the big leagues to be the 4th outfielder, this is the guy they're looking at as of right now. And just like Rob Refsnyder, Aaron Judge would be a guy you'd want to see get called up at some point. But right now he's only hitting .231 down in AA, so you want to see him smash AA hitting before he even called up the AAA, let alone the big leagues. He's only hitting .231. He's only got 2 home runs with 12 RBIs in 42 games, and this is a guy you want to see hitting in the middle of the order. He's a power bat. He's only got 2 home runs. And as far as improving the Major League pitching goes, Ivan Nova is pretty much the guy they're waiting on to come back from recovering from Tommy John surgery in 2014. He is slated to be back sometime, possibly June is what he's listed at right now. So Ivan Nova could possibly be back in this month. We'll have to see how his rehab goes, how they put him in the rehab starts, see if he does well, and see if they want to rush him back or they want to let him ease his way back into the rotation. And that'll pretty much wrap things up here for the May recap on Franchise Nation Radio. Quick summary of things: the hitting has picked itself up, the pitching has kind of gone a bit downhill, while the prospects still aren't proving that they are ready to be called to the big leagues, and the Yankees, if they do need someone, are looking to call up either Jose Perella or Slade Heathcott. While they're also waiting on Ivan Nova to recover fully from his Tommy John surgery, all possibly slated to be back in June. And with that being said, that'll wrap things up here for the May recap. I've been your host, JerseyBorn, and I'm saying goodbye.
Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. It's hard to get by just upon a smile.